Millionaire is speaking out today after facing backlash for stealing a hat from a child at the U.S. Open this week.
The U.S. Open is supposed to be about tennis, but this year one of the biggest stories didn't come from the court at all. It came from the stands, where a grown man snatched a gift meant for a child in front of millions of viewers. The moment was simple. Polish player Kamil Majchrzak had just finished a hard-fought win. As players often do, he looked into the crowd and picked out a young fan. The boy's name was Brock, and Majchrzak raised a cap to hand to him, a small gesture, but one that kids remember for the rest of their lives. Brock leaned forward, smiling, ready to take it. And then it happened. A man in the stands, later identified as Polish CEO Piotr S, reached out, grabbed the cap before the boy could touch it, and claimed it for himself. Brock pulled back, visibly confused, even protesting as the man clutched the hat. The cameras caught everything. The moment that was supposed to create joy turned instantly sour. By the time the broadcast ended, the clip was already circulating online. People slowed it down, zoomed in, replayed the boy's disappointment. Comments flooded in. Who was this man? What kind of adult takes something from a child on live TV? It didn't take long for the internet to find out. Within hours, sleuths uncovered his identity, a wealthy businessman from Poland who ran a paving company called Drogbud. Overnight, this wasn't just a random viral clip. It was a scandal attached to a name, a face, and a business empire. The backlash was merciless. Memes popped up. Google search results for his company filled with angry headlines and mocking posts. Instead of his business achievements, what surfaced was a single moment of greed replayed endlessly. Meanwhile, Kamil Majchrzak wasn't about to let Brock's story end that way. He went online, asked fans to help him find the boy, and eventually tracked him down. In person, Majchrzak handed him signed gear and made sure he left with more than just a memory of disappointment. Brock's smile returned, but for the CEO, the storm only grew worse. The public wanted an explanation. Days later, he finally broke his silence with a statement on his company's website. He claimed it was all a misunderstanding, that he thought the cap was meant for his own sons, who had asked the player for autographs earlier. He apologized to Brock, to the family, and to Majchrzak, admitting the situation looked bad but insisting he hadn't meant to upset anyone. On paper, the apology ticked the right boxes. But there was a problem: the video. In the footage, he didn't simply make a mistake. He snatched the hat from a child's hands, ignored his protest, and walked away. People compared what they saw with what he said, and the two didn't match. Worse, parts of his statement caused confusion. At one point, he described the boy as injured, which many assumed was a clumsy translation, but it only fueled more questions. Was he downplaying the emotional harm, or just scrambling for words? And then came the rumors. Posts began circulating online claiming he mocked the boy, saying, "If you were faster, you'd have it." Others claimed his legal team threatened to sue anyone criticizing him. None of these were verified, and he denied them outright. But the damage was already done. The internet doesn't wait for fact checks. The rumors spread as fast as the original clip, and for many people, perception became reality. For the CEO, this was more than embarrassment. It was a business crisis. Years of building his company's image collapsed in days. Search results, social feeds, even his personal reputation were hijacked by the scandal. The man who once prided himself on supporting youth sports was now painted as the villain who stole from a child. And that's the power of the digital age. A single action, a single second of bad judgment can redefine someone overnight. Without cameras, maybe the moment would have passed unnoticed. But under the eyes of millions, it became unforgettable. The story raises bigger questions. Was this truly a misunderstanding blown out of proportion? Or was it a revealing glimpse into someone's entitlement when they thought no one would call them out? Does the apology matter if the video tells a different story? And most of all, if the player hadn't stepped in to make things right, would anyone have cared enough to fix the moment for Brock? What started as a fan interaction at the US Open spiraled into a lesson about accountability in the digital age. A boy left empty-handed. A player became a hero by righting the wrong. And a millionaire CEO became a symbol of greed, caught in a viral scandal that may follow him for years. Because in the end, reputations are fragile. And in 2025, they don't just live in boardrooms or on balance sheets. They live online, shaped by the choices people make in seconds and judged by the millions who watch. So what do you think? Was this a genuine mistake, or a man showing his true colors when he thought he could get away with it.